I am going to share with you guys my BITU position worth $125,000 and why I am continuing to invest in this even while Bitcoin is dropping. As you guys can see, we are at a time where Bitcoin is being feared by so much. There's a lot of mixed news in the markets, in the crypto market specifically, and in the overall market. But there is tariff fear, there is hacking fears, there is inflation rate cut fears, and all of this is creating so much fear in the market. And I want to show you guys why I am taking advantage of this to accumulate at these lower prices. And before we do, I'm just going to give you guys a few articles as an example. For example, first one is Bitcoin crash warning, why Bitcoin could drop below 70,000 and erase US election gains. We're going to see how the likelihood of Bitcoin falling below 70,000 is. We'll see what that likelihood is. We also have simple supply and demand for Bitcoin, which is really what it's all about at the end of the day, right? So as less Bitcoin is being created over time and this starts to level out a lot more, there is a continuation of Bitcoin being bought up and removed from circulation. And I don't think you guys can see this, but back here, there's a little bit of an extra dip that just happened. So demand is definitely stronger than supply. And if we look at historic performance, historically speaking, February tends to be a very bullish month. This time around, we're seeing a negative, a negative month compared to other ones. Can this be setting up for a positive March to recover all of these downs that we've been seeing so far? And right here, Bitcoin price enters generational buying territory, which traders expect more downside, or should traders expect. The thing is, at the end of the day, something that is limited in supply and demand keeps increasing makes this dip very, very interesting. And not just because we are in a bullish year, or what is expected to be a bullish year. It is a very important time. I'm going to give you guys a bit more examples of that. But first, real quick, just to show you guys my actual BITU position, it's currently worth 89,000 because it is down just over 30,000 with an average cost of $55.08. That's 120,000 invested tomorrow because my funds are still settling. They're still being transferred. Tomorrow I will invest another 5,000 because I believe that we may still be very likely in these discounted levels tomorrow. So I want to add another 5,000 there to make it 125,000, and I'll do that during tomorrow's live stream. But basically, guys, at the end of the day, what we have here is a big drop, focused, and just highly related to a lot of macro fear and a lot of technical fears that don't have any actual play in Bitcoin. This is all emotions, and there is no solid evidence, at least in my opinion, that justifies a big drop like this. So if something like just before the Bybit hack, we were trending up and we were going much higher. We were pushing up because a lot of the macro news and the jobless claims that came out last week was solid, and we were going up. And then out of nowhere, a lot of this hacking happened. A lot of this that is causing so much fear that shouldn't actually have a say in what Bitcoin does at the end of the day. This is all institutional issues. It is not the underlying assets issue. And the reason I am continuing to accumulate during these discounted levels is actually, first, let's go over the likelihood of this falling below 70. There's a few articles that talk about Bitcoin potentially hitting 77K as of right now. It looks like it is, trading in that direction. But as you guys can see right here, there is a few imbalance here. There's a little bit more down here. This is the yellow line represents the 77K mark. And we are trying to push down further, and we're currently trading within levels of previous consolidation. So this may act as a strong support, but at the same time, we still have a little bit more imbalance. We still have a little bit more downside pressure. Even though the RSI is very much discounted, we had enough downside pressure to go into this next supportive fib extension area that I created to represent the new structure that's forming, which is a continuation of the price falling further down. And then this blue area right here represents the retracement from this overall move down, indicating that if we do push up higher, there's potential resistance here to keep an eye out. And if we can push that, then we can go up much higher. But the lower the price goes due to this, all these news that doesn't actually have a real say on what Bitcoin does, this is all purely emotions, and that's causing all this to sell down. So understanding this and understanding this sideways movement that I've said in previous videos that is trying to factor in this big move up, we're consolidating for a bit to factor in the move up so we can stay more in line with the current value of these structures that we're in. We're now in a new low from the overall structure, creating just a deeper buying opportunity. It's nothing different from here. Within this area right here, we've had continuation of Bitcoin adoption, increasing the strength of the foundation that Bitcoin is now based off of due to a lot of this value that institutions are giving it, besides the supply and demand element of it. But just like this big move up, we've had consolidation sideways for a bit to factor it in. Big move up, consolidation sideways for a bit to factor in the move up. Same thing. Everything is the same, but this time when we have more states, more companies, more governments increasing Bitcoin in their holdings, and then you also have the supply. Just the amount of circulating supply keeps dropping as more Bitcoin is not being created. It is less is being created over time, and you have much more being taken out. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense to buy at these levels, and I plan to keep buying after investing tomorrow that extra 5,000. If Bitcoin throughout the rest of the week, or even leading into the beginning of March, continues to fall, you bet I am going to be adding more and showing you guys that I am adding more by showing some more screenshots of my transactions and my position size, because I am 100% convinced that the bull market is not over. Now things are a bit more clear as well, because previously on a lot of videos I said we had an overshooting B wave from the A wave here surpassing this swing high. The price couldn't break below this swing low, which I've never seen before. Normally we have an overshooting B wave, we see a more aggressive C wave coming down below the A wave. We couldn't see that. We kept moving sideways for a while. So I kept saying, like, this is very weird. I never seen this before. This looks very bullish. Unfortunately, we could be much higher, but due to these unfortunate situations where Bybit got hacked and a lot of this caused so much fear, then we decided the price decided to dip lower. This actually creates, it's an unfortunate event, but it actually creates a much more clear setup, because now we do have a C wave that is lower than the A wave. So we have a more clear 3-wave structure that fits our checklist a lot more, at least in my opinion, right? So I am going to continue to accumulate Bitcoin as it is in these discounted levels. I don't know if the low is in, which is why I plan to keep averaging in $5,000 at a time until we eventually push much higher. I strongly believe that this imbalance will be met soon enough, possibly sometime in March, who knows? And we will make a new all-time high, surpassing this next leg up area right here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.